Hello, everybody, and welcome to the Ideas for Us International Branch Forum to cover our amazing success throughout 2021. On this call, we have incredible leaders from all around the world, and today they're going to share the amazing work that they've been doing to develop environmental solutions and also humanitarian solutions. And this is all done under the platform of Ideas for Us. And what we are is a global environmental nonprofit that works to solve global environmental issues with local solutions. And that happens by mobilizing leaders, educating people, and implementing boots on the ground action to combat climate change. And this takes so many different forms. We all follow the model of educating, engaging, and mobilizing people. And this is because we believe that community-based solutions is how we can solve some of the world's most pressing issues. Everything that we do aligns with the United Nations 17 Sustainable Development Goals. This is basically a recipe for how to make the world a better place. And so we align everything that we do with one or more of these goals. These are our branches. A lot of them here are represented today. And this is where we have incredible leaders bringing communities together to talk about issues that they're facing and coming up with ways to solve those issues as a community. This year, despite all of the challenges that the world has faced, we have been able to make incredible strides and so much action. So globally, we have collected 3,124 pounds of waste, installed over 165 gardens, diverted 1,100 watts of energy to solar energy, installed 4,924 shoreline plants, and planted 16,023 trees. And that is all thanks to our international branches. I tried planting 1,000 trees at a time, and it was very challenging. And these branch leaders are planting 1,000, 2,000 in a day like it's nothing. And it's so inspiring to me. This is what this action looks like in place, doing so many different projects with gardens and tree plantings and cleanups and educational events. Everybody is so excited and passionate and ready to help out our communities and help out our planet. And I'm so excited to let our branch leaders share that with you today. We really want to thank our main donor for throughout the year, One Tree Planted. Without One Tree Planted, none of this would have been possible. So shout out to them for creating these solutions alongside us and allowing us and giving us the opportunity to do it with them. All right, now I'm going to go ahead and hand it over to the Uganda team to share about their success throughout the year.
Yeah, thank you so much, Christine and colleagues, all members from different branches. Once again, I'm Isaac Sinamakosa. I'm happy to take this opportunity to present the work for Ideas for Us Uganda 2021. Yeah, the work I'm going to present actually captures the actions taken, the achievements, challenges, and the proposed plan for 2022. So I'm just going to read through just the summary. I'm not going to read everything here but I'm just going to summarize what is captured here in the slide. My colleagues, Masereka Adidas and Mainuka Pade, will also chip in sometime to also make some more clarification. Next slide. Yeah, so members, 2021 has been a year that we implemented several actions and achievements. We managed to plant 3,000 bamboo saplings in partnership with the other stakeholders. So this is informed by the fact that we are actually losing ecosystem and the components of ecosystem in Uganda. The swamps are drying off. The birds are actually disappearing because humanity is tampering with the ecosystem, is tampering with nature. So as Ideas for Us Uganda, we have come in to actually close this gap by planting more trees like bamboo saplings. So this was one of the achievements that really we had to register in 2021 by planting 3,000 bamboo trees. You can see this is one of our volunteers preparing to go and plant a bamboo sapling. The next, you can see now these are volunteers busy in the field planting. We planted these bamboo trees in one of the valleys in western Uganda. There is a river called Nyamwamba River. This river has been stubborn, has been overflooding, eroding everything. People have lost lives, people lost property worth millions of Ugandan shillings. And that is why we came in to try to save our community, never to experience such losses again. Another slide, Christine. Yeah, all these are pictures actually showing the actions, the volunteers busy on the ground and preparing to go and plant the saplings. So you can see in the background how eroded the area is. You can see those stones, how stubborn this river is. You can imagine those rivers, those stones being rolled down, whatever they come across, crops, houses, they sweep everything. And this is because the soil is now weak, it is not anchored, and now coming up with an idea of planting bamboo saplings is trying to strengthen, to anchor the soil to make sure that when this river floods again, it should not destroy the surrounding. Yeah, the next slide, Christine. Yeah, you can see that is one of our climate justice ambassador, because for us, we recruit people of all ages, the children, the youth, and the elderly. So because we want to make sure that when we leave, when we are no longer in the office, when we are no longer active, at least there is a generation that is going to take from us. So you can see how we are also engaging the young ones to also actively participate in the actions, in the activities that we are undertaking. So another slide. Another achievement we registered in 2021 was planting indigenous trees. We were able to plant 800 indigenous trees, Macamia lutea. This is one of the indigenous trees here. And we planted these trees in a partnership with a kingdom authority. It's called the Rwenzururu Kingdom. You know, kingdoms, they also, one of their activities is conserving nature. So we partnered with them to plant the indigenous trees. They have a bigger program of reforestating their area of jurisdiction. And they had to reach out to us to help them move forward this plan of theirs. So we partnered with them, and this is not the first action we are undertaking with them. Also in 2020, we planted the other 1,000 indigenous trees with them. So it is the beginning. We are still hoping to do more planting with them in the coming years. So those are volunteers. They are also local leaders. That one you see is the mayor. The mayor, those are political leaders and our volunteers at the planting event, preparing to go and plant the Macamia lutea. Another slide, Christine. So that one you see is the mayor, Kasese municipality. Because I told you we are not working alone, we are embracing actually mutualism, working with others to move forward. So this is the municipality mayor of Kasese, and he was the chief guest on that event. Then on the right, you were seeing that is a tree we planted now 3 months after. That is the tree that he planted, and that is how old it is now. So we always do monitoring. We go back to go and assess, to go and monitor the progress of the trees and all actions that we have undertaken. So all this has been able to has made us to really move forward because we are working with the others. We are not moving alone. We are working with the entire community, the local volunteers, the local leaders, the religious leaders, to make sure we really create a very big movement that will stay here for years to come. So another slide, Christine. So we also managed to conduct Hive meetings. Most of our activities actually generate from Hive meetings because we want projects that are owned by the local communities. So before we undertake an activity, we first discuss with the local people, identify their local challenges, then we identify the local solutions. So as you can see, this is a team of leaders and ideas volunteers going for an assessment activity in Nyamwamba River. This was after a Hive meeting discussing the challenge of Nyamwamba River that overfloods and sweeps away crops and people losing their lives. So we had to go down there and witness really what is going on, how destructive this river is, and that is the team from the field after the Hive meeting. So we managed to conduct 6 Hive meetings in 2021, and over 600 people attended and participated in these Hive meetings. Another slide, Christine. Yeah, so that is another Hive meeting, and that one you see is the Kasese District Forestry Officer explaining to people why we must plant trees, why we must conserve our forests. Because if we continue destroying forests, we are actually destroying ourselves. So this was a sensitization meeting organized in a Hive way. And of course, we always bring different people to come and talk to the citizens, to the local community members in every Hive meeting. So another slide, Kristen. Yes, that lady you see is the Kasese Municipality Environment Officer, trying to share with the local people. Those people you see are the ones we had mobilized for a Hive meeting. So she's trying to share with them the technical issues about climate change and why we must act now and why we must all act. It is not an issue of ideas. It is for us all. We must all come up and act because climate change is destroying properties, not selectively, for all of us. So the environment officer is talking to the people, mobilizing them to support and to join ideas movement to make sure we really address these problems, the problem of climate change that is almost singing in this earth if you don't act now.
Isaac, can I chip in on the Hive meetings?
Yes.
Another amazing thing of having technical people like the environmental and the district forestry officer is that the community members are able to ask questions of what they don't understand. And so many clarifications are made in that meeting. So that's one amazing thing that happens in these meetings. Thank you, Isaac. Go on.
Yeah, thank you, Mr. Pade. Then members, as a result of climate change, we are having a very big problem in Uganda, where most communities are now water starved. Whenever we go out there to share with the communities, they put on table, they share with us their problems that we really have to help them out from. So one of the communities is really water starved, and we are glad that we are funded by one of our donors to construct a powered dug well This is a well that we have dug, and it is serving a primary school. You can imagine for over 30 years, this primary school has never got clean and safe drinking water. So when we went there for a Hive meeting, they had really to share this challenge. And because of lack of clean and safe drinking water, it has actually affected the academic performance of the pupils at this school. So to them, their biggest problem they thought we must sort immediately was constructing for them a water well. So we had to contact our donor and responded positively. So this is how far we have gone. By the end of this year, we will have finished this project, and we are hopeful January next year we'll be launching this project. It is going to serve the primary school of 700 pupils, then the surrounding communities. And this same water is going to be used for garden irrigation, school gardening, and the surrounding population. So we are addressing two pillars in this one project, water pillar and food. All these are going to be addressed in this one project. So we thank our donors because this community, this primary school, had really suffered for a long time. So this is one of the achievements that we have registered this year. So those people you see, that is Ideas for Us Uganda team and other volunteers that we formed on the site. That is a dagger well. It is deep, very many kilometers down, and they are still digging it. We also extended electricity to this school. It had never seen electricity for all those years, over 30 years. And because of this funding, they now have electricity. They will be using the same electricity for pupils to revise even at night, to read their books, or even maybe having computers at school. So this is how this project is going to help the school. Another slide, Christine. Yeah, so members, with all these we are able to do, of course, we had some challenges. The main challenge that really we experienced was COVID-19 pandemic. We planned to have more than 6 Hive meetings, but because of the restrictions caused by COVID-19, we are unable to organize all the Hive meetings that we had planned. We had planned to organize like 10 or more than 10, but because of the restrictions, we are not able to conduct all this. So that was the biggest challenge that we faced in 2021. We hope it will not be a challenge come 2022. So in 2022, we have a plan. We have a plan of actually extending and starting on other new projects. One of the projects that we plan to undertake is organic gardening demonstration project. We are thankful to Ideas for Us. This project is already funded, and we are going to start implementation in January 2021. We are having a bigger program of actually extending this project to all communities and schools. But we want first have a demonstration where people will be coming to learn. After acquiring knowledge, then we are going to extend it to the entire community. All this is informed by the fact that actually, Uganda, 65% of Ugandans derive their livelihood from agriculture. But because of using unsustainable methods of agriculture, if we don't act now, these 65% citizens of Uganda are going to lose jobs. Pests are increasing, crop diseases are increasing because of using unsustainable methods of agriculture. So as Ideas for Uganda want to come in with a new strategy of going organic to make sure that we save the jobs that are almost going to be lost in Uganda. So this is a bigger program that we are planning ahead to first demonstrate, then we roll it over to the entire communities. Then also in one of the Hive meetings we had 1 year ago in Eastern Uganda, we found that also poverty is still a very big problem that is affecting the actions of the local communities to conserve the environment. Actually, in one of the Hive meetings, there is one member who challenged us that there is no poor person that can conserve the environment. You not tell me to conserve the environment when I have nothing to eat. So this means, as ideas, also we have to look at the livelihood of our people, the people we serve. We empower them economically. When they have something to eat, when they have something to put on the table, then they will conserve the environment. Someone will not go and cut trees for charcoal. Someone will not go to cut trees to go and sell and get something to eat when he's having an alternative source of income. So to them, they said a piggery project is something that can really make them active and be able to concentrate on conserving the environment. So this is one of the projects that we plan to take on come 2022.
Yeah,
also,
Isaac.
Yes.
Isaac, if I can chip in on a piggery project. Yeah, once again, I'm Masereka Didas in Eastern Uganda right now. As I can highlight more on the piggery project, from the Hive meeting we have been conducting, like Isaac said, we are learning that poverty here is too much, and these people here feel like the fact that pigs produce at a high rate, they feel like because a pig will produce after 4 months, and 1 kilogram of piggery is 12,000 Ugandan shillings. So that means if one pig can easily weigh like 100 kilograms. So if someone sells that, I think they can increase on the household's income and sustain their families. So I think in Eastern here, it is the way to go on this project. And I think it is going to work because already piggery is having market around. You keep it and someone will buy. So it is already a market that can easily change communities in Eastern Uganda here, more so in Kamuli and other neighboring districts. So we hope here to start small and then expand bigger, because the model will be come up with 1 piggery. So a piggery will produce like 10, and then those rest, the 10 start distributing to households in communities. Yeah, thank you so much, Isaac.
Yeah, thank you so much, Adidas, because you are in Eastern Uganda, and this project we plan to implement it in Eastern Uganda. Then members, we also plan to set up a solar-powered fish pond project. This is also in the food pillar. 2 years ago, we had a demonstration fish pond, and we now have experience. It helped over 300 people to access fish, and of course they earn the income from this. So we want to set up to start on a bigger project, fish pond, that will benefit a bigger population in Western Uganda still. This is a project that we have really shared with our Ideas for Us team about the successes, and that is why we are being motivated to now start on a bigger one, because we know it can really benefit a bigger population. Yeah, with achievements of this year, you saw above presenting about the bamboo saplings and the indigenous trees. We plan to extend this because, you know, it is the way to go. We need to plant more trees. We need to plant millions of trees. So we want to plant more than we planted this year. So 2022 will be another year of planting. we have our volunteers who are out there and ready to plant. So this is another action we really want to put more emphasis on, planting more trees so that we really conserve our environment. We are also having another activity or another program, exchange program. We believe in learning from each other. So we are planning an exchange program where different volunteers from different communities will be going to learn from their counterparts. Ideas for us Uganda team also should get opportunity to go and learn, like what our colleagues in DRC are doing, what our colleagues in Nepal are doing, what our colleagues in Ghana are doing. So we think this program is actually going to strengthen us furthermore and be able to act and do action that are really will move us forward. So it's another program that we are planning come 2022. We have not yet secured funding, but we think if we get funding for this program, it is going really to help a lot. And we are not looking at ourselves alone, ideas for us Uganda. We are requesting ideas for us to take on this program so that actually all of us, we can interact. All the branch leaders from different counties, we can always interact. We go to their counties, they also come here. Then we learn, and this is really going to build a stronger ideas movement.
Yeah, Isaac.
Yes.
Isaac, like I can chip in, if you look at the solar powered fish pond, yeah, this innovation was borrowed from Nebraska in the United States after my visits. So I really support much the exchange program, because if I didn't visit the United States in Nebraska, I wouldn't learn of the innovation. So exchange program is the way to go. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you.
Isaac, just something small on the exchange program. This exchange program, we hope that it will encourage, it is basically to enhance capacities of the different ideas, volunteers, to practically learn of how the others are implementing their actions. Because we think there should be participation, that if somebody goes to, let's say, DRC, the person should be able to participate in the activities and then learn from the peers, because we know that peer learning is one of the best learning methods. So that's why we think there should be that interaction, so that the different branches do not stand alone. Thank you, Isaac.
Yeah, thank you so much, Pade. And I will also give an experience members. In 2005, also when I visited Germany, there is one idea I came with from Germany, and now it is being implemented. I'm running an insect farm here in Uganda. This idea, I actually borrowed it from Germany when I visited there. So you can see, if we embrace this, being able to interact, visiting each other, there are very many projects that we are going to come up with that are going to help our communities and ideas at large. Yeah, then 2022 members, yes, I talked about the project, the water project that we are implementing now. So we also plan to launch it in 2022. That is January next month. It is another big event that we are planning, because we really want to show the world that is possible. So it is another activity that we plan to do in 2022. So in brief, members, that is it from Ideas for Us Uganda.
Yes.
That's what we have been able to do. And that is what
so Isaac,
Yes, sir.
Can I chip in shortly? As we plan the launching of this safe drinking water, I think if any well-wish around and is in the platform here and you are willing to witness what happens in Uganda, I think the exchange program can start from there. And you see what we do here and then you learn. Yeah.
Maybe Elwood,
yeah.
we're inviting you to come over and witness what we do in our lodge.
Yes, we are neighbors. That will happen anytime.
Just cross the border. I will pick you from the border.
Exactly. Exactly.
Yes. Yeah, so members, that is it. Christine, I think that's what we had.
Thank you so much. That was really incredible. I'm so excited to see all of your
success. Isaac, I think what you have forgotten, Isaac, is to give a vote of thanks to Nika Hossein Foundation, who donated the water project. Really, Nika, thank you so much. We are excited for the work you are doing here in Uganda and the different parts of the country. One tree planted, thank you so much. We have always received the money and has always reached. And we have always implemented and do the right thing. You guys have always seen. And we have always submitted the reports to Nika. And I understand Nika can witness so much. Yeah, and we're inviting more donors who are viewing the slide to join the team of Ideas for Us and Ideas for Africa so that we push the global movement ahead. We want this nation, we want the global movement to sound higher. I remember one time we produced a song. I don't know if one of you have ever produced it. We're like, we should raise the stamps for Ideas for Us higher because they are changing nations here and we are really taking local actions. Thank you so much, Christine, Isaac, and Paddy, plus the team watching. Thank you.
Yeah, I can.
Christine, we don't take your efforts for granted. Please, you have done a lot. You have organized us. You have supported us so very, very much. You have worked on our proposals. So we really appreciate your efforts.
Absolutely. It is more than an honor to work with you guys and help you do the incredible work that you're doing. So thank you so much for your time and for sharing that. I just dropped this song in the chat for anybody that wants to watch it. But thank you so much. We're going to be moving along and I'll hand it over to the DRC team. Elliot.
Yes, thank you so much. Thank you, everyone. Thank you, Christine and the Ideas team, friends from Africa and the USA. Thank you for this opportunity. My name is Eliod Bakole. I am the Ideas for Us DR Congo branch country program manager. As you can see, I'm alone today, and my friend Daniel Mastaki, who is my colleague, and the country director, who is now busy with the academic staff. He is doing his PhD in Cameroon. That's why he's not with us right now. So as you can see, the first slide of our presentation, and this shows something we did in 2020 and 2021, but we didn't put all the activities for 2020. So we combined all the activities we did, and we first started with the Hive meeting in Goma. That was in September 12, 2020. And this Hive meeting actually was the starting point of everything we did, like something related to environmental issues and challenges. In this Hive meeting, as you know, which is a think tank, is a moment for ideas where we put people together, people from different backgrounds who try to ponder or to give ideas about the problems, the challenges they are facing in their communities. And then from these problems, we draw solutions and how we can implement the solutions together, and we take action together with the youth, with the student, with the elders, and so on, all the people combined. As we can continue next. after this Hive meeting, we had a family picture with the members, some of the people who attended the Hive meetings, and we had the opportunity for this Hive meeting actually to have the core team. As you can see, the people with the ideas for us t-shirts, that's the core team of ideas volunteers who are closer, who are ready to be with us at any time we need them. So these guys, as you can see, we mixed women and men. This means that even in ideas for us, we look at the gender issue. We try to mix women and men and all the categories, because we believe in what women also can do. That's why we select our volunteers in this way. So we gathered with 45 volunteers, participants, from which we picked some volunteers actually in Goma. And we were, as I said before, discussing the issues and problems, challenges, environmental issues in Goma town and in other places in Congo. We identified problems, we thought of them, and we decided actually to take action. And we raised the awareness actually about environmental issues that we are facing in the current era. Next. Yes, what was now the outcome from the Hive meeting we had is the shoreline. We clean up the shorelines or the cleanups of Lake Kivu in Goma, because as you know, Goma rely much on Lake Kivu. Lake Kivu is the only source of water for our town here in Goma, because we don't have any source of water. We are surrounded by the Virunga's volcanoes and these mountains which touch even Rwanda and Uganda and Congo. So the volcanoes have actually burnt all the water sources we could have in town. So the only source is Lake Kivu. And that's where people from Goma pick the water from. So we decided to think of this Hive, this activity, cleanup. We go next. And next slide. Yes, as you can see, our volunteers, they accepted actually to go with us on the lake and collect the waste. Waste from what that come from families actually in Goma and other people who always take that, have the habit of going and dumping the waste on the Lake Kivu, and some other waste are washed away from the city to the lake by the rain. And that's why we took this action, and all the people around actually were impacted because they wanted also to join the movement. Next slide. This picture actually shows how we are pulling the waste from the lake. And as you can see, the man here in a yellow shirt, he's a priest from the Catholic Church here in Goma. And he has a local, grassroots organization, and we partnered together actually to do this activity. You can see this humility, how the priest accepted to enter the lake and start collecting the waste from the lake. That shows how our activity, the Hive meeting, impacted a lot and helped us actually to have other partners who could understand our vision and support us in this activity. This was done on 19th September 2020 in Goma, and approximately 50 participants, volunteers attended the activities, even other people we met just on the lake, because many of the people do their they wash their clothes on the lake and so on. So some of them joined us, and it was actually an amazing activity. So the outcome for this activity is that we collected 20 bags of 100 kilograms each. We collected those sacks of waste, and That was actually an incredible work, because even the leaders there around who are in charge of the lake testified, and they showed us that they didn't have another group like this before that could sacrifice their time and effort to do this work for the lake, and they encouraged actually to come and come again. Next slide. Yes, as you can see here, we're still doing the shoreline cleanups in Bukavu now, another city, another district. Our members from that side also followed us, and they said they should not keep or cross their hands, and they joined us in this activity of collecting the waste on the Lake Kivu. As you can see how the lake is being polluted actually with the waste, and they gathered also that side the same period to make this cleanup, and collected also waste from the Lake Kivu. For them, they collected 7 bags actually of 100 kilograms. That is on the next slide. Yes, next slide. Yes, they collected 7 bags of waste of 100 kilograms. You can imagine the quantity of waste we collected actually, because it was too much, and people could see how big it was, and we waited that actually for the waste to get dry, and we managed it in the other way. The next slide. Yes, next slide. So after the cleanups activities, we actually in 2021, we had some activities, and these activities are reforestation and the garden expansion activities in Nyangezi, but also in Kashenyi. That is in the South Kivu province district in DR Congo. So this activity, actually reforestation, was supported by Ideas for Us and One Tree Planted, that we will keep thanking a lot for the effort you are all doing to make this possible. That was on 14th August 2021, and approximately 500 trees were planted, native species, and we had some fruit trees, orange, lemon, palm trees, and spatodea trees. They were planted at Chibimbi Primary School, and this was realized by 60 students and 4 teachers, but also 21 volunteers who attended the activity. So why we thought of the children, as our colleagues from Uganda said, this is the generation that will take over when we are no longer there. And we want actually to instill in them that idea of thinking of the environment, so they grow and they have knowledge, they know what planting a tree means. They grow and they know what caring for the environment means. So that's why we try to involve the school and the children. And as you can see also, as I said, the gender issue, the gender aspect. Majority of our volunteers are women, and also the children. We had a lot of students who are female, because the action of women actually speak louder than what men do most of the time. Because here, women, when they do something like tree planting or garden, something, crops, they take care of them until they grow. But that's the strength we have realized, and that's why we always involve women in these environmental issues and children. The next slide. Yes, the next slide, Christine. Yes, as you can see, this activity was supported by the One Tree Planted, as I said, and Ideas for Us. We thank again One Tree Planted. We all receive what you send, like funds and so on, to do these activities. You can see how we are still involving the children in tree planting. This is one of our ambassadors, these children, how this child, how she's planting, and we can see the woman this side, the other side, how she's actually planting a tree. This means that women are not left behind in everything we do. The next slide. Yes, that was the tree planting part. And then as we go for garden expansion, we actually planted crops because, as our colleagues said, the livelihood also should be looked at. And we thank again our funders for this activity for the garden expansions. One tree planted and ideas for us, and the volunteers who gave their time, their effort to do this. And this was done in South Kivu. We planted actually the carrot, that was in August this year, 2021. Carrot, onions, and so on. We planted 20 plum trees because we always mix with the fruit trees. And also 21 volunteers attended this activity. And this means our area is actually affected, especially rural areas. They're affected by food insecurity. And this activity actually is the answer to that aspect, though it has not actually been done on at a large scale, but what we started already is the good starting point, and we think we hope to plant or to have more gardens, to have more crops around, so that the communities and the people who rely on food especially should feel actually released and supported. So these are our volunteers in Nyangezi, and this is how we started, by planting the seedlings, like the seeds first on the patches. We had patches and we planted, then later on we transplanted to the main garden. And the good news is, like, in 2 weeks, we are going to harvest actually the cabbage and carrot we planted for this activity. We go for the next slide. Next slide. Yes, these are, as we kept monitoring our crops on the gardens, this is now the transplantation phase, where when our volunteers were transplanting, but also the carrots were already showing that they are growing. And that's why I'm saying in 2 weeks, we are going to harvest cabbage, and we have also onions on the same garden. We have carrots, but these two volunteers here, you can see carrying the plants. They were transplanting them to take them to the final destination, like the main garden. The next. Yes, the future plan, what we are planning to do in 2022. First of all, we want to actually step up the reforestation projects in North and South Kivu provinces in DR Congo. Just know Congo is a very big country, and we are not able now to reach all the districts, but we want to plant more 50 to 100,000 trees. Like, that is our plan for 2022. And also we want to reach all Congo. We want to go everywhere in Congo. So not only in South or North Kivu, but even in Kasai, in Mbujimai, in Lubumbashi, why not in Kinshasa? We want to reach everywhere. This will depend on the means on our possession. We want to expand also the garden from 4 hectares. Why not to go to 10 hectares and even more? Because, as our colleagues from Uganda said, hunger and also livelihood should be looked at. Communities need also to have this livelihood support, so that they care and they protect the environment, and they don't actually undermine the actions we are doing on the ground of tree planting. We want to have shorelines cleanup still because, as I said, Lake Kivu is the only lake we rely on here in Goma to have clean water. We want to have hive meetings because these hive meetings, as you know, they are starting point and they help us identify the problems we have in society. We even wish to have more than 5, why not, in this year. We want to look for new partnerships with other people who can support. That is our plan also. Also, the area of activities, we want to expand it. As I said, go everywhere in Congo, touch all the layers, all the peoples, and so on. Why not visit our friend? As our friend said, the exchange program is a very best and good program I appreciated in their plan. So we want to recruit more volunteers all over DR Congo. So that is another challenge we still have. Congo is very big and we are just touching 2 districts which are not representative so far. So we have our area of activity, Goma, Bukavu, and so on. So they are not enough. In Eastern Congo, just know, so this area is the most affected by the wars in Congo. These are the most affected areas and where even communities, they are facing challenges, security challenges. We add on them the environmental challenges. We have the hunger, food insecurity. So all the problems, actually we need support for this area. And we thank all the organizations that are actually supporting us. As I said, One Tree Planted, Ideas for Us, and other local partners around here in Congo. So the implementation will depend exactly on the availability of some of our volunteers and also the funding opportunities we'll have. The next slide. So this just a snapshot, just something to show you how we have been able to impact the people on social media with the activities we did. So we reached more than 8,000 people, which is very important for us for people to see what we are doing, what is going on, because these people who see what we are doing, our activities, maybe some of them may be willing to help us, to support us. So we had some comments, some shares and likes of our activities, and these from organizations, private people, students, and all the people who follow our Facebook page. As you can see the link below, you can actually follow our group and share and help us actually let people see this worldwide, what we are doing, and people who can support us may refer to this. Next slide. Next slide. This is what actually Christine has explained about the ideas for us. This is our mission, vision. We actually follow what the Ideas for Us main branch in the USA is doing, because they are our visionaries and we follow what they do. But we thank our Ideas for Uganda, which helped us actually to know about Ideas for Us, and that's why we exist as a branch. As you can see, the history of our branch. Next slide. This is the end of our presentation actually, and we say thank you so much. Merci beaucoup and asante sana. And we actually want you to come back again, support us again, and so on. We are ready to restore our environment, to support our people who need our help. We are ready to do what Ideas for Us and to implement the visions of Ideas for Us through your support. And we thank you so much. We thank our colleague who keep encouraging us. We thank One Tree Planted and Ideas for Us and all the people who are supporting our branch. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much. That was really incredible. You guys are able to do so much with the resources that we give you. And Your gardening skills, your farming skills, I should say, are very impressive. You need to come over here and teach us how to do that.
Thank you, Christine.
Yes, it's a good skill to learn how to grow food. So thank you so much for sharing. We're excited for more action next year from you guys. Richard from Rwanda was not able to join us today, so I'm going to go through some of his impact. They had a hive in the beginning of the year to kind of bring people together, talk about issues, and come up with solutions. Like I said, was our main goal. They had 100 members in different country areas, so lots of different voices being heard. Their focuses were coronavirus, charity, tree plantings, and school gardens, which is a great diversity of different projects. They educated people on COVID issues, taught people how to wear masks, properly wash our hands, and social distance, which was really essential in the height of the pandemic. It just kind of talks about how they did it and really definitely told people like what COVID would look like so that people know when to stay away from people. And then they handed out care kits to people with soap and different supplies, and then also signed people up for their programming to continue the outreach and continue to invest in people that need it most. And had 23 people join the organization and also help the children stay healthy. They also did a tree planting. I believe they planted 2,000 trees in this specific project, which was really amazing. They were native trees to improve soil fertility, combat climate change, and increase biodiversity. The last one they did was several school gardens, which was a really amazing project in partnership with the Futani organization. They engaged so many children in learning how to grow food and also implemented the gardens there while mobilizing the kids in that mission and project. So now they'll have a nutrient-dense source of food and also a learning experience so that they'll be able to have that essential life skill for the rest of their lives. Projects that they want to do is, of course, more tree plantings and school gardens. I think is a really big one. The installation of 100 gardens in 25 schools, which I think is really important, especially with the partnerships that they have made. Cleanups, waste management, fighting malnutrition, probably through gardens as well. Home gardens, so really implementing the urban aquaculture program like we have here in Florida, where we're growing food in people's front lawns. And fighting against the spread of coronavirus, of course. All right, and just a shout out to Richard. I'm sad you couldn't be here, but we're excited to see what you're able to do in the new year. All right, I'll hand it over to Stephen if you want to share a little bit about your branch's progress and goals, if you're able to at this time. If not, I can come back to you.
If you want me to do it now, I can do it now. If you want me to do it later, I'm fine with that.
I can actually edit. It's up to you. I can edit the video to.
Okay, no, I can do that. Part. Let me go ahead. I want to begin by saying a very big thank you to you and the entire IDS family for making this happen. I think that this year, 2021, has been an incredible year for us in spite of COVID-19 and its implication and restriction that it has on the entire world. We have made significant strides. IDS for Liberia, we begin the year by doing a beach cleanup in partnership with Youth Exploring Solution, Breakthrough from Plastic, and the Global Alliance for Incubator Alternative. And with that, we were able to clean up over 200 meter of coastline, and we were able to collect trash, and those trash have been used to build latrines. So we used the bottles to be able to build latrines. We did that in partnership also with a local organization, and the local organization is actually using the bottles to, we build latrine with those bottles, but we were also able to use the plastic to create raincoats. So we call that sachet plastic. incredibly, and we were able to also, this year I was, as country director for Idea for Liberia, I was selected to be a mentor for the newest program by the UST department. And I really want to urge the rest of our colleagues on this call to actually take advantage of that. It's called Community Engagement Exchange. It's ECC, so you can apply for that. I was selected to be a mentor. This year I also started my master's in international maritime law. And I want to say a very big thank you to Ideas. I think this voluntary work actually pays out a lot. I'm on a fellowship that is being sponsored by the International Maritime Organization. I think my motivational statement was very impressive. The fact that I was told that I was doing voluntary work. So I really think that working with organizations that Ideas for Us and the kind of work we do on a voluntary basis, or getting compensation for what we do, I think it goes a long way in helping us. The other point that I wanted to make quickly, saying if I don't have a PowerPoint presentation, we were able to plant for the first time in the history of our country, we were able to plant 750 coconut trees for a municipality. And I can tell you, trees may be seen, and with the help of Ideas for us, and also want to be planted, past the demand that we got from them, and from that they will also wanted more trees. Then we also, with support from One Tree Planted, we're able to plant additional trees in 3 counties in Liberia. So we planted 1,250 trees for a school in rural Maserati called Goba Town Public Schools. And we're able to plant 750 coconut trees for a town in Grand Cape Mount County called Sebelwoon Town. And in Bomi County, we were able to plant an additional 750 trees, fruit tree, for a town called Boba Town. In addition to that, we were able to establish, in respect of the COVID-19 situation, we were able to expand our environmental clubs. And the environmental club is very key to Liberia. Why? Because it served as a foundation for which Ideas for Liberia was established in 2013. In 2013, Ideas for Liberia, we first started up with establishing 5 environmental clubs. From the establishment of 5 environmental clubs, we were able to expand to 6. It was based on that we got our initial funding from the U.S. Embassy in Monrovia, and we were able to receive that funding to be able to expand our environmental clubs to other parts of the country. So as I speak to you, we currently have environmental clubs in 250 schools. All of those environmental clubs are headed by female. Why? Because we believe that in spite of the fact that you have female, especially young girls, who have the potential to be able to lead a lot of developmental initiative, too often they are being overlooked or left behind simply because of cultural, traditional, and religious barrier. So we want to break that barrier. We want to be able to ensure that these girls are not just coming to the program and sitting at the back seat, but they are actively participating in the program. So in addition to that, we intend to do a lot of work next year and going forward. We want to make sure that we are able to invest more in our organic school garden project. Thanks to Ideas for providing the funding for us. We've already started our community engagement and stakeholder engagement. I think that will go a long way in helping us. But more besides that, we want to start establishing nurseries. So we realized that every time we want to plant trees, we have to go in villages trying to collect those trees and trying to pay for those trees. But we want to be able to establish a nursery of fruit trees. It's going to be the first of its kind in our country. And the way we're going to do that is that we've already secured the land. We have a huge land space that has been provided by the community. And also we have support from the Environmental Protection Agency of Liberia, and also from the Ministry of Agriculture and Education. They are really supporting us in ensuring that we can expand our programs in school. We also, with the environmental clubs in school, we are working to ensure that environmental education is integrated into the national curriculum so that people don't just see cleaning up of schools and campuses as something that people want to do, but to know the impact of climate change and what is happening. We were able to also have communities getting involved for the first time. We're very pleased that we have women groups who got involved in using used clothes to be able to just fix a reusable thing. For example, they want to do bras, other tailoring, or the clothes, the remaining clothes that people will just use clothes that people not using again, to be able to use it to produce a lot of different things and jewelries and the rest of it. I think these things will go a long way. So what we intend to do is we really intend to plant more trees next year, especially for towns and villages. And we'll had a meeting where, a Hive meeting where we're able to do an analysis on fruit tree. Take for instance, if you plant 100 orange trees, how much can you generate? How much can you generate if you plant 100 orange trees? So we're saying on an average, how many oranges a tree will produce? We say, okay, let's assume a tree will produce 250 oranges on the average when it's mature to be able to produce more oranges. So we say, okay, how much do you sell oranges on the market? So that economic value have actually had different groups in those towns that we planted those fruit trees in coming back to us and demanding requesting more trees, simply because if we are able to plant trees, fruit trees, especially fruit trees in community, we're able to lift our people out of poverty. I think our colleagues from Uganda are also doing similar things that we started doing. The babon tree. So because of the huge demand on cutting down tree to be able to build houses, especially those who were building story, maybe first, second, 2-story or 3 stories building. So we decided to plant babon tree around waterways and to reduce the pressure, because there's so much pressure on our forests, even though Liberia is home to 43% of the remaining rainforest in West Africa, but there's a huge pressure on the forest. So we've been able to do that for the community. And so what we intend to do next year, yes, we want to plant more trees, we want to engage youth, especially expanding environmental clubs in school and expanding the environmental clubs in school, but specifically looking at IDS's 5 pillars of sustainability, energy, water, food, waste, and ecology in our environmental club component. We also want to engage more women group because next year will be the eve to our election. So we want to make sure that we're sensitizing communities to be able to understand the importance of environmental issues so that they are raising the issues with those candidates and people who want to contest for elected positions in 2023. We are also promoting female participation in governance so that their voices can be heard. We also want to be able to create more awareness around climate change so that we get climate justice ambassadors. Those are young people who will be able to demand and also work towards the many climate change issues we face. I'd like to stop here because I know there's so many people that should speak before me, but I want to definitely have this PowerPoint presentation share with everyone. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Stephen. You've made incredible impact this year, and I know you have really amazing plans to integrate both social change and environmental change for next year as well. So great job, great work. You're doing amazing stuff over there, and congratulations on all of your success in your personal life as well. So I'll go ahead and hand it over to Manuel. from Ghana to talk about his branch's work and his plan for next year.
Thank you so much. Thank you, team. Thank you, Uganda. Thank you, Liberia. Thank you, Rwanda, for the great job you're doing. And so our activities this year are basically two. We did tree planting. And so we started with the support from Tree for Planting, as we all had it. And then we planted initial stage planted with the tree 2004 trees. We work with community youth groups, and we also work with women groups. We also worked with a church community faith-based organization in planting what they call a forestation farm, where they are using the seedlings to also distribute among the members. So we supported them with the planting of the seedlings, but with the transplanting, they did it in a different date when we had finished our event. So we planted, and then we can add to our numbers. We also did a gardening with communities, 5 communities, where we projected to plant maize. We have season crops in Ghana, so the rainy season, we have maize that you plant, but we also added vegetable. So we did a lot of vegetable, cabbage, tomato, and also some also added pepper. So mostly we're at gardens because of COVID. Many people were not going to farm. So what we did is that just do a garden at the back of your backyard, and we're able to sign up community people, and we also able to sign up only one school, which was just a pilot to see if it's possible going forward to add some schools going forward.
I'll hand it over to Pradesh to talk about his success in Nepal.
So, namaste everyone. Kristen, I'm clear, loud?
Yes.
Thank you. So, namaste from Nepal, and it's very glad to be presenting with all of my international committee of ideas for us. And so it's like an annual review meeting we have been having today, and I will be saying the last year progress that Ideas for Nepal has achieved with the projects and the committee activities. So let's go ahead, Christine. Next slide, please. So it's in 2016 that Nepal Health, so with Nepal Health Corps and Ideas for us are getting together since 2016 when Clay and his team visited Nepal for the first time. So we had started from the 1 medical colleges in Nepal. Now we are existing in 38 colleges of Nepal, where we push our medical students, students from the management, students from the environment to take the community actions, and all of our activities are based on their initiatives. So we focus on social accountability, sustainable development goal 2030, and enhancing the leadership of our leaders, of our volunteers, and throughout the community. So in 2021, we were able to expand the whole process into 38 media colleges of Nepal. So coming to this, why I have kept this in the very first slide is that Project Butterfly is my very favorite project, and hopefully it's the very favorite project of Christine as well. So in 2021, so we have trained 2,300 schoolgirls in 30 schools on dignified menstruation, reproductive health, and eco-friendly homemade reusable sanitary pads. So it's the amazing thing that our volunteers has been doing nationally. So it has been possible because we do have a very huge network of students working for a Project Butterfly. So though we hadn't COVID, we were able to reach 30 schools throughout the Nepal and reaching to 2,300 schoolgirls. So in Ideas for Us had always been a very strong support for this project, and we hope to scale this project to more schools and even to our international community in Rwanda and Liberia and Uganda. So we do have a very dedicated trainers. We do have a very a good curriculum to train the students. So hats up to my team, and that's about Project Butterfly. Thank you. Next slide, Christine. So as always, as these ideas for Nepal branch has been led by an medical doctors, it's very obvious that we are very keen on making a disaster response and providing the humanitarian aid. So in the last time, we had a massive storms in the northern part of Nepal. So where we distributed clothes, noodles, medicine, mosquito nets, and kitchen utensils for 200 families. In the Feta Gaonpalika, Feta Rural Municipality of Bara District, Nepal. So it was followed by the number of the temporary camps, health camps over the year as well. So thank you. Next slide, please, Christian. So, okay, so now along with the humanitarian aid, we do have our very focused area is like an environment and engaging the volunteers, like moreover the college students for that activities. We had on July 31st, we planted 143 fruit plant trees at 3 different localities. So one was in the Porshang of Pokhara, where we had initiated one home, one fruit tree. Instead, it was a huge success. And the way my last branch mentioned, we have also make inclusive of the genders, of the ages. We had an 8 years old girl participating. We had a 70-year old guy participating in this camp, and it was of the huge excitement. So even we look forward to have such kinds of community campaigns. There was a joint participation. It was engaged with the committee, and we make sure that local leaders feel accountable with our activities. Even the politicians had joined our campaign. Next slide. Next slide, Christine. So yeah, coming in 2021, obviously with the support of One Tree Plant and with the leadership of Ideas for Us, this has been a very global moment. So globally, we had planted lots of trees. Same like in August 7, we have also planted 115 trees in 5 different localities. So if we have partnered with the environmental workers, mobilize the youths, and here's the pictures. So going up to next slides. Next slide, Christine.
There's a delay in the slides. I click next.
Okay. So again, in 17th and 18th October, we planted 165 trees in different locations. So as a whole, we had conducted a massive tree plantation event in the Gandaki province, and more focus on the Pokhara. So because as there's no urbanization was going on, like people were less aware about the protections. And with this, we conducted a small hive station with schools and college students. And as you can see in the pictures, like there was a huge involvement of the youths getting engaged in tree plantation. And we even look forward to such activities in 2022 as well. So thank you, Kristen. Next slide, please. So again, one of the very funding activities I will always love to do is like doing an clinical outreach camps. It's like also we call maternal health camp. And with this year in 2021, we have reached to the 7 rural distance places, and most probably this camp was focused on the maternal health. So we treated 200 marginalized women and girls. Like being a medical officer, even had got the chance to give the first-handed care to around 200 women, and my team as a whole, we did for 1,200 marginalized women and girls. It was a very painful situations to see them. They have been having vaginal discharge for last 2 or 3 days, 2 or 3 years. They were having a uterine prolapse and number of such complications. They were having an sexual and reproductive problems. So it got to feel so glad that after we visit those committees, with our prescription of 10 days or 15 days medication, they got to be relieved of the whole problems that they had been facing for the last 3 years. So I feel strongly encouraged to continue these activities. And so it's like, though we had in COVID, so that we had a limitation, so we were able to raise 7 rural committees. But like in 2021, we want to scale up it on a very national level. We want to reach farthest rural committees. So, and again, thanks to Ideas for Us for pushing these activities. Thank you. So next, President. So again, I cannot miss this, like, and COVID response. Obviously, to all of the 2020 and 2021, we had been facing the COVID, and lots of our physical activities were limited. But like, uh, we our team was a whole focus for and COVID response. So with COVID response, like, healthcare and Ideas for Us were the leading youth organization in Nepal. I can proudly say that. So providing protective gears to 2,700 doctors. This was the time when no one, there was a huge scarcity of PPE in Nepal. Then we collect the local resources, local materials, and we make our production by self, having our self tailor, and we did it. It was a huge moment at the beginning. So later on, knowing to that people were getting out of the job, having hard times in hospital, we provided free food to 200 patients. Like, we in our hospitals where our leaders were leading the moment. We had 23 health decks in the 23 medical institutes where we used to listen the patient, we'll give them the counseling and the COVID care, and then even provided free foods to those peoples. So another very proud projects that we had done, and even the first initiative in Nepal, that can all of the Ideas for Us committee can be proud of. Like, we leaded the telemedicine service, and for like 1.5 years, we provided it to 15,000 people nationwide. We had a 24 hours hotline where eight doctors were very activated. Out of there, we had 23 super specialist doctor. They were giving like 5 to 7 receiving calls and getting a call from for orthopedic problem, for skin problem, even for the psychiatric problems. But we had a 24-hour hotline that gives service for and COVID counseling and COVID medications. That's how we did. So aiding to that, we also provided door-to-door doctor supports for 800 houses in Pokhara and 100 houses in Nepalganj city. That was an possible because of the support of the local committee. They were so enthusiastic, and they made a call to us to provide the support, and they financed this project, and that was a perfect model. So when committee comes together, they collected the more money, and we were able to provide the free medicines, free doctors to those people. So again, we had trained 3,000 doctors and medical students on COVID management, because it was a very difficult thing to know at the beginning. So everything was in very confusion, very dilemma. So we connected to the doctors from USA, from UK, from China. Even we had a friends in China that translated all of these things in English, and we struggled at the beginning, but at the end, many of the doctors have become health thankful for the Ideas for Us and Nepal Healthcare team. That was at for which I was also provided with an uh, real life hero award by 2030 Youth Force in affiliation of UNDP. So it's all about the achievements coming in the next slide. There is ideas for ideas like, if you might ask me what is Nepal Healthcare, and this is the organization that we had formed back in 2019 from the support of Ideas for Us and Ideas as a founding organization of Nepal Healthcare. We received we were the finalists for an youth report solution, youth solution report published by Sustainable Development Solution Network of United Nations. I count this as our achievement as well, because that's how we have been doing, and how Ideas for Us supporting, and how UNSDation has been recognizing our works. So going to next slide. So again, this was one of very proud moment that I had in personal and organizational level. Uh, in 2021, we were awarded with the AFMC Charles Bolin International Social Accountability Award. I'm so wondering how we got to we got this because in previous year WHO and a very high organization like International Federation of Medical Student Association used to get this, but this time Nepal Health Corps get this. This was a super achievement for us, and I now believe that yes, we really work hard to deserve this, and even Ideas for Us has played a very important role to recognize my work and to establish Nepal Health Corps in Nepal. So here you can read the nomination from Clay, and this has carried a very strong statement to believe on our works. So thanks to Ideas for this as well. So Christine, going to next slide. So it's all about Nepal Health Corps has been in 2021, we work for humanity and environment, protecting lives and planet. So, and we'll continue doing it. This picture is from disaster response. So we were there within 24 hours of the disasters. We do a survey. We just like, we got to know how much medicine, how much doctors, how much kitchen utensils we need to bring, and immediately within 2 or 3 days we got to participate in the recovery activities. That's what we have been doing, and like in 2022 I want to continue all of these projects. Hopefully not COVID response. I don't want COVID response to continue now. Hopefully COVID will end. Let's pray for that. But like we want to continue for a dignified menstruation, for a mental health camp, like for an hive, for an tree plantation events. So getting more specialized to hive, because I believe that people need to know, youth need to know what is SDG, what is the climate change and everything. Even from 2022, I have targeted to consult local leaders or mayors to know about the sustainable cities. And that's what Ideas for has been doing. So it's all about 2021. So again, thank you, Christine, for the incredible support that you have been doing for Nepal Bronze and all the international committee. I'm super proud and super glad that you have taken this lead to support our works. And again, thanks to all of the board members, executive members of Ideas for Us, and all my friends from the international committee. I'm really glad and proud to be working with Ideas for Us. And Ideas for Us is more like an university for me. For the last 5 years, I have been learning leadership, public speaking, concept note writing, networking, like community activities, everything from Ideas for Us. And I have been very connected with this organization. And I would love to continue this. I would love to learn. I would love to lead. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much. You really have been an exemplary member, a leader, and just so inspiring to all of us. You have been so impactful in so many ways in your community, not only with humanitarian, but also with environmental action. It's incredible to see how you've done so much in both sectors. And I'm really glad that you've been able to be recognized for your achievements. So keep up the great work. Thank you so much to everybody who shared today. Thank you to all of our branches for all of your incredible impact in your communities. You all are the reason why I keep going, and I have hope in the future of the world because of leaders like you. So thank you to everybody who's watching this right now. Please click the link in the description to donate. We have links to each project on our website, so you can donate directly to a project that you're interested in. But every single dollar helps. We just want to keep continuing to do this work and continue to help people and help the planet. And we're not able to do that without you. So thank you so much to everybody. And I hope to see you at our next Go Action Day.